Okie dokie. Game number 3. Now beginning here, it is going to be. Oh, when you load StarCraft. Okay, that's what you're talking about. I was like, I don't remember this bit in the game. Now I know what you're talking about. Very true. Is like that. Game number 3 here is going to be on Daybreak. We've got our 2 Zerg players. One of them is up at the top right here. Whoever wins this game will be the winner and will move into the round of 4, the semi-finals, which should be quite interesting. He is in orange. He's playing for Flash. It is Flood. And his opponent, down at the bottom left-hand side, playing for Team Immunity as our blue Zerg player, it is Mafia. So, hang on, I gotta close my blind. There we go. Alright, so, it should be interesting. You know, we've spoken about it before, Daybreak, a bit of a map that encourages macro. So, I kind of think of what to expect from these guys, because they've been throwing out the odd interesting build through the last couple of games, and of course Mafia threw out a couple of cheese builds in his prior games as well. So, we'll see what happens. Flood has not had so much fun in a while. Okay, fair enough. 15 pull for him. A couple more drones coming out. Mafia going hatch first. Yeah, I want to see some more proxy spines that have walked all the way across the map. I want to see that again. That was pretty cool. Some more drones continuing to flood out here. Sorry guys. I'm not asleep, I'm just kind of, getting a little bit tired. But the hatchery goes down for Flood, so he's going to have his on the way quite a while after Mafia, of course, although he will have the ability to get a couple of lings out, not to mention especially the Queen is the big thing to have out a little bit earlier here. Get those injects going. And once he gets started with that, he'll be looking good. Gas all the way for Mafia, so he's going to have his speed just a little bit earlier than his opponent. Already up to 50 gas now, so pretty much as soon as that spawning pool finishes up, he's going to have the ability to get the metabolic boost for those lings. And, we'll see if he's going to be able to take advantage of that. Of course, it's a pretty big thing if you get your speed quite a lot faster than your opponent. You can do things to sort of run by and see what your opponent is up to. As we see there, a drone just heading down to the natural. Wants to probably be able to put up a spine if needed, but I don't think he'll do that. There he goes, yeah. He's just going to return those minerals and then he'll be all good. But yeah, just these guys still continuing to go relatively, standard for the moment, but a Baning Nest going down for Mafia. Again, not a huge signal that he's going to go for something crazy from what I understand. Of course, my Zerg versus Zerg is not the greatest of my matchup knowledges. Knowledge? Whatever. You know what I mean. As you can see, the big question will be, is Mafia going to pull up a whole bunch of lings again like he did in one of those previous games? Looks like he is going to take care... Oh, was that Queen? That Queen attacked the Spine Crawler. Wow, you're a traitor. But she is going to hack apart at that supply depot. Looks like there are going to be quite a lot of lings being built here by Mafia. He's got them rallied across the map. Some of them they're sort of spread out in the positions they're going to. Just a couple going through the top level here, and it looks like he is going to go for. I would guess that's that target Bane strat, right? So he's got 4 Banes morphing in. They're over here inside the Zelnaga Watchtower, but Flood can see all, and he'll be getting prepared for this. It looks like he's going to put down an Evo Chamber and a Roach Warren. 2 Queens on the ramp, of course, 2 Spines inside the natural there, protecting that as well. And Flood is, wow, he's just well prepared for this. There is no real way that Mafia is going to get anything done with this. So he's just going to just hold back for the moment. He's going to try and just sort of contain his opponent in this area for the time being. And yeah, like I said, I doubt anything's going to get done by Mafia here. So back home, he's going to drone behind all of this. Looks like the Queens are still sitting on the ramp, just doing what they do. Just sitting there and defending that against any possible run-bys. Meanwhile, Mafia's got his gases 3 and 4 in operation. His drone count currently sitting at 35, so he did sacrifice a little bit to get all of that done. And Flood has done a fantastic job with his drone count, up to 43 right now. He's got a gas 3 and 4 as well. He's also got +1 to missile attacks just being researched right now. Would expect him to start getting really into those roaches right about now, especially since the lair is about to complete. He'll be able to get the roach speed started very, very quickly there. And Mafia is going to need to try and, you know, he's going to need to catch up at this point because his drone count it still is just a little bit behind, but he's going to try and get his third base behind that early pressure. So, not you know, this game isn't really out of the box just yet. It's sort of it's still sort of sitting in a position where either player could sort of pull something out of a hat and just drop their opponent. Looks like Mafia is going to go for those infestors, going to get started on that pathogen glands very soon. Queen's throwing down some injects as well. Roach speed is now started for Mafia, along with his opponent. Floods has also got that going. He's got +1 on the carapace on the way, +1 on missile attacks is just about done. And Flood is finally going to get across to his third base. Surely he knows that his opponent has a third, and he's going to need to, you know, once that goes up, he's either going to need to kill it or he's going to need to catch up with it. And I would assume that given the roaches that he's got coming out, he may try and go for a kill on that third base. So he's just getting prepared for that. Looks like Mafia having a quick look himself. What's going on in here, dudes? Not too much. Drone count for Flood has suddenly gone a lot further below his opponent. He's now down to 45, Mafia up to 49, and he does have his own roaches now popping out because he knows that there is an attack coming. With those overlords spread out, it looks like there are quite a lot of dangerous animals moving through the middle of the map here. A lot of roaches there. That's a total of 20 roaches here for Flood. Mafia's got 19 of his own, along with 4 banelings as well, so he should be quite fine, providing that Micro provides the victor here. So yeah, not too bad by Mafia there. A couple of roaches maybe going to try and do a little bit of a run by. If they can get inside the natural, then they may be able to snipe down a few of those drones. But no, they're actually going to get a queen. Nicely done. Very nice pickup there by Flood. He actually gets in there and takes advantage of the fact that the units were out of position. And there we are. So more units now just popping into the third base here. Flood supply blocked right now. Both players supply blocked, and they're not really caring about it at all. But 6 more roaches about to pop out for Flood. He's really starting to commit to this attack here. Needs to be very careful. The concave of Mafia is far superior. Not to mention the unit count is a little bit more superior just because he can throw those banelings into the mix. And we'll see if Flood is able to just sort of head back and get into position to defend, but he doesn't actually need to because Mafia is just going to head back for the moment. Interesting thing is the is the fact that Mafia is still just slightly ahead on the drone count. I would sort of have expected him to drone at this point, just because he does have that rather large roach force. Of course, his opponent has been roaming around trying to get some damage done on that third, given that his own third is quite far behind. But he's just sort of stuck with it for the moment. A couple of infestors out here for Mafia as well. If he can land one of those money fungals, just sort of that position right here on the ramp, that'd be beautiful. Maybe even he'll need to double it here, given that the rocks are being opened up. But both these guys just committing so heavily to their attacking units, and Mafia, he's just continuing to try and hold here. He does have Burrow on the way. Pathogen Gland's now researching for Flood as well, so he's going to have his own infestors out on the field very soon. But Flood really needs to get in here and do some damage, because if he doesn't, then he's going to start falling behind. And there's a nice little fungal, grabbing quite a lot of those roaches, and another nice fungal again, grabbing more of these units. And Mafia is starting to just really attack and do a whole heap of damage here. Well, I suppose he's defending and doing a whole heap of damage. And now he pushes through, micros forward, pushing across, grabbing the rest of the roaches, and that is a big victory there in that battle there for Mafia. So he's going to be sitting in a fantastic spot. Meanwhile, some drones actually got inside it. Some drones had to retreat from the natural, and it looks like the roaches are sort of just backing off for the time being. More roaches coming up to the third base here, but Mafia, with that beautiful micro, is keeping everything alive for the time being. And Flood is pretty much in a pretty dastardly spot right now, because just like you look at the angles that he has to attack into, he's got to try and come in this direction here. You got fungals that can go off just all over these places, and that will absolutely just destroy any sort of attack that tries to come along. If he tries to come up this ramp, as we mentioned before, if anything tries to come up that ramp, Mafia is going to be all over it with fungals just over the top, locking it all down and putting himself in a beautiful position. But finally, these players have built some drones. Both of them have been sitting at around about 45 for quite a while now, but Flood has said, you know what, it's go time. Picks up another around about 10 or so drones and looks pretty good. He's up to 57 right now. A couple spine pullers going to go down for defense. And just look at the vision here. This double overload thing, that's kind of weird. I've never really seen someone do that before. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but either way, Mafia's spread is a little bit better. He's got far more vision, as we can see here, controlling this whole center area. He can also see this back area here as well, and it looks like, well, one of the overlords does go down eventually. Both these guys now just content to sit back and re-drone back to where they would normally be. Just sort of waiting to see, you know, Mafia's up at 200 supply, he's maxed out, he's got a total of 40 roaches, sorry, he's got 52 roaches, 8 infestus, he's got 67 drones as well. Meanwhile for Flood, he's sitting here with these 40 roaches and 7 infestus, so he's slightly behind in the count, but as you can see, looks like the attack is about to commence. 0-2 upgrades done for Mafia, but he is about to pick up 1-2, so this timing should be relatively good for the upgrades if you can get in, get a good fungal on some of these roaches here, but now Flood is in a little bit of trouble because there are just so many roaches here for Mafia. Fungals growing down for both players in both sides of the battle. It looks like Mafia is going to have a little bit of the upper hand here, despite the fact that he's been, you know, his concave is a little bit, is a convex, but effectively he's got 2 concaves going at a time, and he does win the majority of that battle here. It looks like some of the roaches of Mafia are ready to pop with the fungal growth going down on them, but the queen is now gone, roaches are now gone, drones are about to get absolutely annihilated at this base, and we'll see if Mafia pops up and throws down a fungal. No, just more infested Terrans blocking out his opponent from retreating down that ramp. And with the infested Terrans there, it looks like that could be it for Flood. He's down to 97 supply. His opponent, Mafia, up at 163 and climbing, is building more roaches as we go along. But I think that may be it here for Flood. He's done a really good job for the majority of this game and the previous games, of course, winning game number 1. But I think Mafia here, his macro just got into a beautiful position with that much quicker third base. He was able to utilize his much better economy. And now, as we can see, Mafia just reinforcing as much as he wants. GG, well played from FlashFlood.